Hey everyone, my name is Jason Petersen. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, and pretty socially awkward. I've had a lot of people ask me if I was going to start doing YouTube videos. I have said I'd be doing them for a while. I don't know, I just kind of put it off, I guess, but I'm going to try and get this started and to see what kind of interest I get with my videos. Just want to let you guys know what this channel is going to be about. This is just sort of an introductory video to let you know about what I'll be talking about in this channel. First off, I do hold to Messianic Judaism, which is a lot like Christianity, except for we believe that their Old Testament laws are in effect just like how they were in the time of the Old Testament. Right now, of course, because there's no temple in Jerusalem, no Sanhedrin, no priesthood, because of that, we're not able to follow all the laws right now. So before you guys ask me, why aren't you sacrificing animals? That's why. Also, you have to be in Jerusalem to make sacrifices. So I am being consistent with that view by not sacrificing animals. That's usually the first question I get. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Um, there are some things that I'm going to be discussing that even Christians will have a lot of interest in. I do typically deal with atheists a lot and deal with Muslims. And I will be doing videos, probably responding to some videos by atheists and Muslims. I also will talk about biblical living topics, which I think would be both beneficial to Christians and Messianic believers. One topic I really focus on is personal finance. That's just something I'm really passionate about. I really like to help people get their finances straight. Uh, I do know a good bit about investing. I have a net worth that's about 10 times what most people that are at age 31 have. So I do think that I am someone who's proven to be qualified on speaking on a topic such as that. Of course, anything I give in this channel wouldn't be considered professional financial advice. It's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Or if you want professional help, you can talk to a financial advisor or someone that has a professional certification for that sort of thing. I also will be talking about politics because some of the most interesting topics these days are political. You have a former reality TV star in the White House as a president. Never thought that would happen. Uh, yeah, so it makes for some pretty entertaining antics and things that we can discuss, and then also the liberal reaction, the media's reaction, and all the crazy things they say about President Trump. So there'll be some political banter in this channel as well. I'm not really an expert in politics. I just give my opinion, and you can take it or leave it. Uh, I will tell you about I'll give you a rundown of my testimony. I was raised Southern Baptist, and I grew up in a Southern Baptist home, of course, and my parents were very good to me. I had a very good and stable childhood. I don't have a really one of those testimonies where someone has something really big and dramatic that happened in their childhood that they had to get over. I don't have that kind of story, but the most major thing that happened to me really was that helped steer my path to a better walk in the faith is me getting cancer in 2011. Whenever I found out I had cancer in my eye, that prompted me to maybe take the big questions in life more seriously. Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? Is there really a God? And if there is a God, which God is it? It caused me to do a lot of research on different views such as atheism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, the big the big philosophies I'm typically exposed to here in the United States. And through that, I reaffirmed my Christian faith. I became convinced that the evidence did show that Christianity is true. So I became a Christian. Well, not really like a stronger Christian, just because I was already a Christian. Um, and then eventually, I ran into Seidenberg-Kate. His his reiteration of the presuppositional method, it kind of led me to more of a Calvinist theology. I became Reformed Baptist in my theology, and then I eventually went to Presbyterianism for a while, and I started going to seminary. I started going off to Columbia Evangelical Seminary, say under Dr. Phil Fernandez, and then after that, I did that for a short while. Didn't finish that degree. I just didn't feel I wasn't working at it fast enough, and so I just was going to meet the deadline, so it just didn't seem prudent to keep paying for a degree that I probably won't finish on time. So I also found out that Dr. Kenneth Talbot at Whitefield Theological Seminary was a student of Dr. Gordon Clark, who is my favorite Christian philosopher. So I went to Whitefield because there was no timeline for the degree, and I learned a lot at Whitefield. I learned a lot at Columbia, but I really learned about the importance of systematic thinking as opposed to disjointed thinking at Whitefield Theological Seminary, and I'm really thankful for what I did learn there. But unfortunately, one day I realized that my view of the covenants were wrong, and I went to a Messianic synagogue here locally, and I was trying to figure out, what options I had for my views of the covenant to correct them, and I eventually settled on Messianic Judaism. I did look into some other views, such as I already knew about dispensationalism, which I already had ruled out a while ago. I had ruled out covenant theology. Not going to go into why in this video. I also looked into new covenant theology, and I found that to be more satisfactory than covenant theology. But I just felt there were still some questions that weren't answered, and I felt like there were some arbitrary hermeneutical principles that were being used. So I ended up selling a Messianic Judaism, which resulted in me announcing that on Facebook, because me being someone who a lot of people follow for information about the Christian faith, it's important they know that my theology had changed. So I went publicly, didn't even tell my professor at this point, or the president of Whitefield, that my theology had changed. They kind of found out the same way everybody else did, and of course, the faculty of Whitefield got upset at me and then kicked me out, saying that my views were no longer consistent with their statement of faith, which I actually read it, and I didn't see any inconsistency with their statement of faith, but that's really for them to decide, not me. So I was kicked out of seminary, so now I am an ex-seminary student. I am thankful for what I learned in both seminaries. I don't really plan on going back to seminary. I might go to a Messianic Jewish yeshiva one day. I'm not really entirely decided on that yet. I did also go to Biola University, not like on campus, but I went through their certificate program in Apologetics back in 2013. But most of my education, really, aside from seminary, has just come from my bookshelf. But I think I've shown a good competence in being able to defend the faith and talk about theological and philosophical matters. So hopefully anything I have to say about that topic will be a blessing to you. I also would like to say that, of course, I will be talking a lot about personal finance as well. I'm thinking I'm probably mostly going to talk about theology and philosophy in the defense of the faith, specifically relating to Messianic Judaism. But I do think that a lot of my Christian brothers and sisters will find my content to be relevant to them as well. So even if you're not a Messianic believer, I invite you to watch the channel anyway. I have a lot of information for you. I do love my Christian brothers and sisters. I have a lot of friends that are Christians. So by me being a Messianic believer, I'm not by any means shunning my brothers and sisters in Christ that that believe differently than I do. I just want to make that very clear. I want unity. I don't want division. So I definitely would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. And, again, I hope to be able to provide content that will keep you following me and listening, and also blessing you as well. So that's really about it. So this is just kind of an introductory video about my channel. I hope you enjoyed. If you think you might be interested in listening to what I have to say, just click that subscribe button. I know it's kind of amateurish right now. I know nothing about filming. I mean, pretty much nothing. So as I get better and learn about that, I hope that the quality of my videos will improve, and I'll be able to start editing so that there's not so much filler words in what I have to say, and maybe provide some graphics and other things to help make the videos more interesting and more visually appealing. So I definitely, if you listen this far, I definitely appreciate you listening, and God bless.